Renewable energy will reach the point of becoming something that we can depend on, not we as Egypt, but we as human race, to depend on in heavy use of energy, or will it still remain as to limited uses like in lighting in homes and something of the sort?
That is something of the past. Renewables is if you see the investments in the world in last year, 55 of the new installed generation capacity was renewable energy. So the investments are going in that direction. And if you see the targets on renewable energy that Egypt has at the moment, the 2030 target is pretty ambitious. We in the European Union, we understand that we have to develop renewable energy because the energy sector is responsible for 2/3 of CO2 emissions. So we have to act in the energy sector. And the best way is developing renewables. For sure, you have developed it on a way that is cost efficient. And we, the Europeans,
still expensive, isn't it?
It was very expensive for the Europeans at the beginning because we were developing new technologies. We had to incentivize the market to accept them. We have to support with subsidies, feed-in tariffs. We pay the learning curve, but we developed the technology. And now if you see the cost of energy, and the cost of solar energy has been reduced by more than 10% since 2010. If you see offshore wind and onshore wind, it's similar patterns of reduction, not so big, but similar. If the storage for batteries is also coming down. So we, Europeans, we pay the learning curve, but now the world can benefit from that exercise on innovation, on developing new technologies, and we also learn how to introduce them in the market. Now, if you see what happens in the auctions, there is no need for subsidies for photovoltaic. Same thing has happened in Mexico or in Morocco with very reduced costs. So now, renewable energy becomes to be competitive with other sources of energy. And in very few years, it will be more competitive probably than other fossil fuel-based energies. And the countries who jump in soon will benefit with cheaper energy for the consumers. And they will be able to fight energy poverty. So I think this is a win-win policy. And it's good that somebody did the innovation at the beginning, so that all the rest of the world can benefit.
Can build on. But let me ask you this critical question. Do you think renewable energy will be, I mean, I'm diverting you from your post as a commissioner to somebody who is so passionate about renewable energy. And will it solve the problem of water? Will it help in really desalinate water and solve the problem?
It's evident that with the capabilities we have at the moment to produce renewable energy, you can power desalination plants. But you have to have cheap energy because the cost of desalination is high.
It's high. Yeah.
It's high, and for farmers, sometimes very high, and they cannot pay the prices. So you have to be more competitive. But I'm pretty sure that we will arrive at a time in which renewable energy will be very competitive. And Egypt, as I say, from a geographical point of view, has all the conditions. It has sun abundant and wind abundant. So if we solve the problem of storage of energy, which is one of the things we have to keep on investing to have the capability of storage, renewable energy will be very competitive, and it will help to solve many problems. But to solve the problems of water, there are other policies that you have to do. Hydraulic policies, building dams, it's a complicated exercise. I was minister at the time responsible of water management, and I can tell it's the most difficult thing to handle of all the things I have done, because water is so scarce that you have to have very sound policies to manage it.
I'm really impressed with the reading your biography from law to politics to being a Minister of Agriculture and Food, to the EU, to the European Parliament, to your current position. It's quite a long journey that has exposed you, I believe, to most of the things that are critical in our lives.
And the most important thing is a very interesting time. Never in the history of the European Union we have seen a moment like this. For me, the Paris Agreement, a moment in which all the countries of the world who never agree on anything decided together to fight global warming, climate change, the lack of water, droughts, together, and find agreement was a very important one. But to be present at the moment that the world is facing the energy transition, which is as important as after the first industrial revolution, is very, how you say, I feel it is the right moment to be in politics at the right place. Because I am the European Union at the moment when we negotiated the Paris Agreement. I am in the European Union at the moment we have established all the legislation to achieve our targets in renewables, energy efficiency, and reduction emissions. At the moment we have to say how we deploy electric mobility. So it's the right moment for being the European Union. I mean, the world is passionate, but if we do it properly, and we sort it out rightly, we will fight global warming, climate change on one side, and we will have in the future affordable and sustainable energy, which will benefit all the consumers and will favor economic development and growth, which is what we need all the world, the European Union and Egypt.